Are you trying to build a house that doesn't look like a block like this, like only wood and squarey with a door in it, like you usually build in a survival world? For example, take the house on the side, I will show you in a second. This one looks a little bit better, but it's still not it. It looks like an NPC house and it's still squarey and ugly to see on the first look. So if you want to change that, I will show you a couple easy steps to improve your house. This blocky house looks like the tiny one, but then a little bit bigger, with a single door in it, but it's even more ugly. So how do you want to improve that? Alright, look at this house. It's square from above, from the sides, from everywhere. So the first step I want to talk about is the length. You want to expand it a little bit longer, to just change the shape a little bit. One really important thing of the house is the side. You change a little bit of color between the oak wood or whatever you're using. Choose just oak wood logs, for example, which always works, or bricks or anything like that, to just change the sides. Place a block on the side everywhere, every time you change from side. So for example, now I'm just changing those 4 sides. Since we want to build a 2 layers house because it looks just more epic, we're gonna change the first layer from resources. So now we will use the cobblestone instead of the oak. I will replace everything on the sides as well and make it all cobblestone. The reason why I use cobblestone instead of wood is because I want to use 2 different resources. One resource at the bottom and one other resource at the top, the second layer of the house. You will see in a second why. What you see me doing now is changing the shape. I'm giving it a little bit more depth and it's not gonna look like a rectangle anymore. As you can see, I just changed the front, which was 1 block in front of the first layer, and on the side I just kept it on the same layer, just to change a little bit of shape. Like I said, on the back I did just the same thing, as you can see. Now to remove even more the squarey thing, we won't do this what I'm just doing right now, because it still looks like a square. Just the front is a little bit moved forward. So what we will do now is just remove the sides and place them more in the middle. Change a little bit the placement to make it a little bit more fancy of a look. So keep in mind, just keep like always 3 blocks or something like this in the middle. Not 1 block or 2 blocks. It depends on the building you're building. So what I do usually is build in 3 high. That's my model. And then basically you just give it a shape like what you would like it to look like. So now it's just gonna be a 2 layers house. The first floor and the second floor. As you can see, I replaced just the oak wood in the middle, and it's kinda different from the cobblestone. That's to play a little bit around with the resources. It is fancier for the eye than just look at one type of resource all the time. So now it gives a little bit of difference. And of course I just repeat the same process at the back, because you still want your house to kinda look like symmetrical. But now we're missing something. It's still like just a squarey thing just going in one way. So we want to add another part of the house, to change the looks a little bit of it, to play a little bit around it. So I'll add on the side, I added like a second room for the house, and I just repeated the same thing, like 1 block in front of the first layer. And then of course I finished it up with cobblestone. Now it makes one piece with the house. To rejoin everything I will do the same thing. Now it's still a little bit too much on the side, so we will keep the same kind of game we were playing with it. Now it felt like it was a little bit too low. Now it looks a little bit better for my part. And of course you just rejoin everything to make it one part of the house. Now what I've done to the sides is that I added some oak wood planks to make it look like a little bit bigger, because for my opinion it was looking a little bit too small. So I done that to both of the sides, and then I just finished up the walls on the sides with oak wood planks just to fill in the missing parts. Now it's looking old, but you will see that in a moment it will be different. One really important part of the house is the roof. You can either use some spruce wooden stairs or dark oak wooden stairs, but try to use some more darker colors to make the roof. Once again, it depends on what building you're building. So you can use even bricks or cobblestone, but since we already used cobblestone for the lower part, we'll use bricks to make a little bit of difference in colors. Keep in mind that you always want to have an overhang while building something. If it's either on the side or on the front, it will always overhang one bit. So basically what I'm trying to do now is trying to find a way to build first my stairs. I'm taking an idea, what shape I'm using, and how I will do it. One important thing to keep in mind is to not keep one line in the roof. Try to make different heights in the roof. Try to use normal blocks or all slabs. Now I'm a little bit trying to do things with a normal block, as you can see, and it's just not gonna be one straight line, but it can be even better. You have a lot of different ways to make a roof. So to change a little bit the aspect of the height and to make it not one straight line, I changed a little bit the height of the top of the building, and then I just did the same by just placing some off slabs to know where I would build or to the other side, because I kind of wanted to be symmetrical. So then basically what you all do at last is that you place another type of wood or stone, whatever you would like, and place some stairs in between. This time I tried to change the height of the roof, change it a little bit, but what you will see now is that if I do so, it will hide most of the part of the side of the house. And we still want to keep the details of the oak wood on the side. So that's why I kept it on here, and I just left one row of oak wood. Then on the small part of the house, I did just the same as I did to the big building, the big part of the house. And I tried to make it a little bit taller and big on the sides, but it's just not looking that great. And once again, if you do so, it will hide most of the part of the side of the house. So we still want to keep those details. So as you can see now, it's looking a little bit too low. So what I'm trying to do is to lower it a little bit to make some more details once again. So now this will look a lot better for my part. Then of course you can place some upside down stairs to rejoin the part that is just behind it. So right now I'm trying to lower up a little bit the small size of the house to the upper side of the house, just to rejoin the off slabs. So I just did something like this, and then just to rejoin the lower part I just messed around with some normal blocks and some spruce wooden stairs. But you will see in the future that I will change that, because it just didn't fit with the other side of the house. It was too small to keep it like this, because like now what I'm forgetting to do is to build the lower part with some bricks as well. You'll see in a moment. And what I try to do later is to lower up a little bit the upper side of the house, but you'll see that that I will start removing it. So I skipped that whole part because I was messing around so much with it. But it just didn't fit with it because the bricks couldn't rejoin really the height of the wood that I was placing right there. As you can see, it's getting really high. So yeah, I finished it up by removing it and still making it a little bit higher to make a little bit more detail into the house still. So now I'm just messing around with some bricks, but it will still look amazing for my part, because you'll still see the difference in the height in the front and the back. So that's what makes a roof look better, in my opinion. So it will just basically look better to the eye. So now it just looks like this, and then I just came across the other side of the roof, and I was like, yeah, no, it's just not looking good enough. I was just finishing up everything, so we're just hopping up on everything real fast, because yeah, it's kind of the same thing. You need to keep one thing in mind. Keep the details on the sides, don't keep it as a straight line, because it won't look any good, and then you'll be alright. One important step is the placement of the windows. Take a shape in your head, like an X shape or an L shape, whatever would fit in that particular room, particular place. So in this place the X shape would fit quite well. But of course you can still use the single windows like I'm using right now, but try to be a little bit different. As you can see here, I just placed two windows near to each other, but here I will use an L shape because there is enough room for it. And then here I just tried some things, some different things, like I tried the L shape, or like a thing like this, you know. But yeah, it just like the feeling, whatever would fit that room. And I was like, no, it's just not fitting right, and I just changed things. And I was like, hey, there's plenty of room, so just like let's make like a symmetrical L shape, like going to each other, and it just looks good to the eye because there's a lot of difference in the house. It's never the same. It's not and you can even use some fences to change it a little bit. Like fence can use as windows as well. And in my opinion, it looks better when you're using like a medieval house, but you can still like mess around with the difference between the windows and the fences. This part, like I said earlier, I removed the lower part of the roof and I just changed it to bricks because it's better to the eye. But then I was like on the other side, hey, it's not looking great because it's too tiny in things and it's just not fitting with the roof. So what I've done is that I tried to lower up this part, but it was still, yeah, I just wanted to keep the difference. And I was like, it's not the problem, it's just this part. I need to lower it up to make it higher as well. So I messed around with it and it looked just better. And I was just looking from the other side and I was like, hey, this part is not just finished, but it still looks good even when the part is just higher. So I just switch it off back once again, and I was just messing around and I didn't really know how I did it, but then I was like, oh yeah, it's just this side, and then I made it better once again, and it just looks amazing. The roof is just finished like this, and as you can see, it's just looking great. The next step is the detail. Really important. Like I was just searching around what should I support, so I was like, hey, this side I can support this part of the roof, and then I just placed some random logs in it. And then I was like, yeah, I already used the logs for the other one, and this one is too high, so I think it's looking better if I use some just fences. And here I use just like wood. I changed it a little bit and it looks just way better with a little detail it's missing. Use upside down stairs to make it like a support, and a fence to make it like supported a little bit more. It's just a little detail that you need. Here I just placed some fence and I was like, no, it's just not fitting, so just remove them. And then here I just add another corner of the wood, so why not? Because it adds just like that feeling that it's not just a square, it's more than that. Then I just added some fences in here because I felt like it would fit in there. And then of course you can just place some cobblestone just beneath it to make it look different, like it's standing on something. It's just like in the ground, standing in the ground, the house. And I was like trying to place some stone slabs to make the wall look a little bit different, like change some chunks of it, but it was just too different from the cobblestone, so I just changed it to bricks, and then I just replaced the bricks, which looked way better in my opinion than just the stone. And it just had like, once again, some more detail, and just for the door, make it a little bit more warm coming and stuff. I just change it with a little overhang, like when it's raining and things and you're feeling better, and now it just looks like a house with some more details. The next step is the environment. So for example, take a place like with a waterfall, without a waterfall. You would like to build your house like near to the waterfall because it just looks better. When you're trying to build your first survival house, that's what you do as well. So now just place some grass there because it was all stone, and to make you see like the difference between it, I just placed some grass because grass would fit better by a house looking like this. And I just placed some random fence like in the corner because it looks better when it's in a corner in my opinion. And I didn't like close it everywhere up because it's just like detail and just not a square like you would used to. I placed some coarse dirt as well to not let the grass grow on it, and then some flowers to give it a little bit of color as well. And I just messed it up there because I actually need some dirt because I want to make flower pots. And how you do that, you just place some dirt and then place some trapdoors on it, and then you can place a flower or a mini tree or something on it, and then it will just look like a flower pot, which adds something to your house as well. I place them against the wall here for a reason, and then so the big flowers just in front of the window. Looks good for my opinion. And then just in front of the house to make a more warm welcoming, and then if you want to you can even add like a fountain or something looking like this. just mess around. You can place some hay bales to add even more color if you want to. Here I just ended up like placing some hay bales on the side, but it was like maybe it's just too much, so let's replace it with some oak logs, for example. And I did it against the wall like you see sometimes at houses in real life. And there's like a trick to make it look like it's holding the logs together, is to place like some rails to the sides. And then I was like, yeah, it's just like too tiny, so I just expanded a little bit more, and then it just looked like this, and it adds so much more detail to the house. And now all it's missing is just the light, but then the light it's your part of the plan. Don't place it like randomly in front of the house or something, but place it like on strategic ways, like just near windows and things, and then it will give like a nice smooth lighting effect. And now it looks like an amazing house in my opinion. So yeah, I hope this video helped you a lot or a little bit for improving your house. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and it would be even greater if you are new and you subscribe to this channel, because that would be amazing. So for the time being, I'll see you the next time, and goodbye.